You're watching EAC News. Thanks for joining us. Now for a look at news-making international headlines this Wednesday, 10th of November.
A footage shows how a migrant on Poland-Belarus border used a shovel in an attempt to break the razor wire fence and cross from Belarus to Poland on Monday, while others tried pulling down the metal fence and forcing their way through. Poland says it has repelled attempts by migrants to enter the country at its eastern border with Belarus, warning that thousands more were on the way. The Polish government called for an emergency crisis meeting on Monday and deployed 12,000 troops to the region. Poland accuses Belarus of pushing the migrants toward the border, describing it as a hostile activity. Poland, Lithuania, and Latvia say there's been a surge in the number of people trying to enter their countries illegally from Belarus in recent months. Many of them have come from the Middle East and Asia. The European Union has accused Belarus authoritarian President Alexander Lukashenko of facilitating the influx and retaliation against sanctions and must stop instrumentalization migrants at border. Belarusian government has repeatedly denied creating a migrant crisis, blaming the West for the crossings and the treatment of migrants at the border.
Iran's military has launched an annual exercise near the coast of the Gulf of Oman on Sunday, a few weeks before resumption of talks between Tehran and world powers to revive a 2015 nuclear deal. Artillery and rockets were fired during the exercise called Zulfikar 1400. A military parade was also held on Tuesday with helicopter, warship and a submarine deployed. The spokesman for the Zulfikar 1400 drill, Admiral Mahmoud Mousavi, says that the aim of the military exercise is to display the country's military might and readiness to confront their enemies. The exercise covers an area from the eastern parts of the Strait of Hormuz to the northern parts of the Indian Ocean and parts of the Red Sea. About a fifth of oil that is consumed globally passes through the strategic Straits of Hormuz waterway in the Gulf. Periodic confrontations have taken place between Iran's military and U.S. forces in the Gulf since 2018, when former U.S. President Donald Trump exited the nuclear pact and reimposed harsh sanctions against Tehran. Iran has reacted by breaching the deal's limits on its nuclear program. Indirect talks between Iran and U.S. President Joe Biden's administration to revive the pact, which were put on hold since the election of Iran's hardline President Ibrahim Raisi in June, are set to resume in Vienna on 29 November.
And President Joe Biden cheering because U.S. House passes $1 trillion infrastructure bill on Friday night. He says it's a once-in-a-generation investment that will create millions of jobs. Democrat Biden's Republican predecessor Donald Trump declared Infrastructure Week in 2018 but was unable to pass a bill after multiple tries during his presidency. The bipartisan bill's passage gives President Biden a jolt of good news after sobering election losses for his Democratic Party this week and a drop in his approval ratings. Referring to the losses, Biden has said they showed American people what they want his government to deliver.
We did something that's long overdue, that long has been talked about in Washington, but never actually been done. The House of Representatives passed an Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. That's a fancy way of saying a bipartisan infrastructure bill, a once-in-a-generation investment that's going to create millions of jobs, modernize our infrastructure, our roads, our bridges, our broadband, a whole range of things, to turn the climate crisis into an opportunity. And it puts us on a path to win the economic competition of the 21st century that we face with China and other large countries and the rest of the world. It's going to create more jobs, good-paying jobs, union jobs that can't be outsourced, and they're going to transform our transportation system with the most significant investments in passenger rail, the most significant investment in 50 years, in roads and bridges, the most significant investment in 70 years, and more investment in public transit than we've ever made.
Biden said he will sign the bipartisan bill soon in a formal signing ceremony that highlights all the people who work on it, Democrats and Republicans alike.
Economy.